So welcome back to another gacha react, and this time we got the gacha DG2 talking about what character needs a buff in Wuthering Wave. And as you already may know, everybody's talking about a power creep in Wuthering Wave, but to me mostly because of you receive the buff, or maybe like the echoes, the echoes, the nightmare echoes, like the older echoes is like weaker, like the weaker set compared to the new echoes, and both of them like give the same thing. It's just the newer one is like more value compared to the old one. So maybe like buffing the echoes would work. And also some characters like you can see in 1.x and 1 and 2.x. The 2.x is looks more like easier to play and more comfortable to play compared to the 1.x. Like your general, you have to do dash cancel, and then Yinlin, is it her name Yinlin? Like she doesn't deal a ton of damage, and Jinshi just like high skill and stuff. So you get the idea. So I'm pretty sure the Gacha DG2 gonna talk about it, and let's see if I gonna agree with his point. So take away Gacha DG2.
Okay, I have a very important question to ask. It seems like the upcoming unit in Wuthering Waves has been a very hot topic almost immediately after Augusta was released. So I'm just wondering if
It's
y'all
so
have a
goofy.
foot fetish? Look, I'm just curious because I don't know why else there's so much conversation around her. I've seen her face so much, I feel like Kuro is paying people to advertise her at this point. But anyways, with Yuno being on the way, it made me realize that these most recent characters are becoming very powerful, with Augusta being so powerful and getting an exotic dancer to boost her strength even further when she's already arguably the best DPS in the game. Kalcharo is suffering even more than he already was. Now don't get me wrong,
Yeah, guys, Kacharo is so dead. I have bro E4 or R4, but he's so try. I think like his clunkiness of his kit that you have to hold E or like do a certain type of like skill. While Augusta, you just heavy attack E, heavy attack E E E, then echoes, then R ultimate, then dash dash dash. So it's like so complex, I mean not complex, so easy to understand. Like if you give me a brand new character in 2.x right now and give me like a guide, you give me a guide and let me play like for about like 10 times, I literally can do it and clear the TOA like legit. That is how easy to understand and how to play the new characters compared to the old one.
every character in this game is still usable to some extent, especially since there is a huge degree of skill expression in this game. So yeah, if you really love this one guy from the new federation
Get
that
out
we
from my pool.
don't know anything
Get
about,
this,
you'll just
get
have
this
to
guy
be
out of my pool.
glued to your chair for a couple of hours. I am thankful for the skill aspect of Wuthering Waves, because if not, we'd just be in a star rail situation where the characters below a certain line on the tier list are pretty much unusable. So do you think that Wuthering Waves could get to a point like this? Because that would be a nightmare. Matter of fact, the release of Augusta has really highlighted how mediocre these Electro characters are compared to the new queen. Now, I don't want male lovers to absolutely rip into me for this, but I think that there's just no need for Jiang Liao at the moment. For example, some of his best teams have quick swap mechanics, and if you are good at that kind of thing, then great. But for the average player or myself, we're not going to use Zhang Liao because it isn't worth the headache. There's also the fact that Cheng Li has her premium team now too, so it isn't like that team is her time to shine anymore. Plus, when it
Yeah, I think that's so. What he mean is like Augusta is like outshine Jiang Liao and Kacharo. So I would say maybe like I didn't have Jiang Liao, so I'm not take this like a grain of salt. So I'm pretty sure Jiang Liao is work with dual DPS and a supporter, so you can see the switch swap and stuff with Chang Li before then. But Chang Li right now, she already have a team, while Zhang Liao also have a team, like have his team. You got Zhang Liao, Yinlin, and maybe Verena or Showkeeper. But the problem is, Yinlin like suck balls. Like Yinlin suck balls. I'm pretty sure like when you do her forte, the forte that like a bunch of like spike around herself. I'm pretty sure that enemy can knock her down, like interrupt her during that time. Correct me if I'm wrong because I didn't have two of them. So maybe my idea.
Comes to these older characters, if you have people that put all of this time or resources or even money into these older units, you want to see them be somewhat useful without you having to sweat your balls off to see results from them.
Bro, if I play Kachao like that, might as well just play Denjin, like legit. If I could play Kachao and dodge or like counter that much, I would literally play Denjin instead. I'm sure Denjin main, you know, the sweaty main, pretty sure like can clear better than Kacharo in solo clear.
One of the characters that I regret putting resources into is Yinlin. On release, it seemed like there was no doubt that she'd have a lot more value than someone like Jian due to her being a sub DPS, because we've seen this type of pattern before in other games. The first DPS gets released, is usually complete garbage within a year of the game's release, and our most
True, we don't want to pause that, but true, this is like every gacha game. That's why I didn't pull for the general, because I know like most of the gacha game is gonna get power creep in the next year. It's similar like the standard 5-star. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna get power creep the sooner you go in the late game. That's why I didn't pull. For that general. I keep forgetting about the general name. Jian. Oh yeah, right, Jian. Like that's why I try to pull for Yinlin, but that time I didn't have enough pull, so I quit. Like legit, I quit Withering Wave because I didn't get Yinlin, and maybe some of you could say it's a blessed and a correct move by me because Yinlin suck balls. I'm pretty sure nobody using Yinlin. Like legit.
recent example of this is Ellen from ZZZ, who was immediately irrelevant as soon as Miyabi released and falling off even before that. And
You know what bad thing about this? Like Evelyn, I mean, Evan Jones. Is it Evan Jones? So Evan Jones, like legit E6 Evan Jones is suck compared to Miyabi E0. That is how bad it is. And even after the buff, I'm pretty sure nobody's gonna use Evan Jones because they already have Miyabi, and I'm pretty sure like Miyabi is like so easy to play and so powerful compared to Evelyn. I mean Evan Jones. Evelyn Jones. Because I see the one clunkiness why Evan Jones is like suck balls is that you have to do the run around then like do the heavy attack. I just hate that. Like why would you do that? Just like do this. Miyabi just like E hold then dish out damage. Evan Jones, you literally dash around like a mile, then slash, then run again, slash. I'm pretty sure like slash like a bunch of time to get her E. I'm pretty sure I literally forgot how to play her already. That dash thingy makes people doesn't want to play her anymore. It's just like that is the worst kit design ever.
before that, and subsequently needed a buff because of the first DPS syndrome. Jian, however, while
After the buff, still nobody's gonna play.
obviously not being the best DPS in the game, is still holding his own. So it's very
The fuck did I just watch? The fuck did I just watch? Anyways, yeah, Jian is like still powerful. Like his current team, his best slot team with Jian, Morphe, and Verena or Shopkeeper, it still literally can still clear the game. Like legit. I'm sure can still clear the game. I'm pretty sure the new Whipping Way, based on some content creator like sometimes like he still can clear. So
very unfortunate that we didn't see this coming, and Yinlin is pretty much the worst limited 5-star in the game. Her best in slot team like is nothing special, and there isn't a team where you use her over anyone else. For Jinxie, I'd rather have Jeje or even Cantarella over Yinlin. You can just throw her in with Augusta, but Yuno has nicer feet, and the King of Septimon. Wait. Did you just run that back to look at that picture? I know you just did. I know you just paused the video to look at that picture. You're not slick. Augusta is
No.
broken anyways. You can use her with Havoc Rover, I guess, but anyone else isn't even worth mentioning. I like the root of indirect buffs, such as the Empyrean Anthem set and Echo buffs, but that's not going to cut it. Let's just go straight to the source and give her multiplier buffs because her long animations have not kept up with the evolution of Wuthering Waves. And not to mention, you literally need String Master. Now it is
Yilin, Yilin, like that's literally what he said. We need a buff on Yilin because her damage is too little, or like her kit is too clunky. Just maybe like buff a couple like multiplier, because I'm pretty sure Judger or others characters or other sub DPS deal more damage in one rotation and much more quicker compared to Yilin, and deal more damage. Like legit, they consume less field time and deal more damage compared to Yilin consume more field time than them and deal less damage. That is why the Zhang Liao team is bad. I'm sure it's not about like Zhang Liao. It's Yilin. Like Yilin is just bad. String Master is better than pulling the character herself. You know what I mean? Like this thing is good. Look at that attribute damage. So anybody can use this and dish out some big damage without pulling the character. So literally, when her banner came out, nobody's care about her. They only care about the String Master.
Is the best rectifier in the game, so you should have it if you're any type of player. I'm not even sure if another weapon has general buffs that are this great for any rectifier
just so general.
character.
That's why
So
people
yes,
love that.
get String Master. It's probably #1 on the Mount Rushmore of weapons. Another character that suffers from the amount of DPS being released of their same element is Jinxie. Gojo's sister doesn't have the 6 eyes, but is very powerful in her own right still, and I don't
Where do he keep finding this picture? Where do he keep finding this
think
picture?
that she needs buffs yet for sure. I'm still on the fence about
Really?
it because of the fact that she's still great in the tower, but the Spectro DPS bloat and the fact that she's so much worse in Whimpering Wastes due to her being a nuke DPS is telling me she could maybe not use a direct buff, but finally receive a sub DPS that's specifically made for her that can take care of the AoE mobs for her. Changli, on the other hand, is great in Whimpering Wastes with Jinxie, but once again, most people don't want to learn all that niche stuff that you have to do to get maximum value out of a team like that. Considering Jinxie is a Sentinel Resonator and does have a lot of importance in the lore, I would love to see her and other Sentinel Resonators keeping a pretty high echelon of strength so that it makes sense gameplay wise. Cardathea is still obviously very strong, but imagine a future where we had a situation like the one Raiden Shogun is in. One of the most intimidating and powerful Archons in Teyvat was bested by a clumsy cow.
What the?
But she isn't the most disappointing Electro user that we've seen. That title has to go to Calculator. His damage is simply too bad, even with
Yeah, he's just
crazy
so bad.
echo investment. A lot of the earlier units are pretty clunky to play, and this guy is no exception to that. He requires a lot of skill and patience. Sadly though, I don't realistically see any standard units receiving any buffs. He has acceptable teams with quick swap. Are you seeing the trend here? It's unfortunate because he does have one of the cool
Like you see, like all of them are good, but not all of them. Like they are good. Like Zhang Liao, Kacharo, and Yilin is good. It just you need quick switch, like switch swap. Those 1.x, like you need quick switch swap. While the 2.x, you just do your brain dead rotation, then just clear everything. While the 1.x, you literally just sweating and try to like perfect the rotation and everything, like quick switch swap. When you do the kick, you swap to Kacharo, then do the slide, then swap to Yilin bad. Like that is just so much, like it take more skill. While 2.x, you just do this, then dish out the big damage. You know what I mean?
coolest designs in the game, and I'd like them to utilize this character somewhat eventually, but this guy suffers from side character treatment. I know there's no incentive to
Well, Rock Lee used to be like so strong, similar to Kacharo. Everybody's like keep glazing about Kacharo. Then once maybe Zhang Liao came out, everybody know how Kachao is just so bad, a hard garbage. After everybody getting Zhang Liao.
Buff standard units because they aren't limited time characters, but I'd argue it would be an incentive to make me feel better about losing a 50-50. Losing one right now to anyone besides Verena kind of just makes you want to punch a hole through your monitor.
Yeah, I don't want to see this anymore because it's so bad. My Verena is like E0, all 0, while my Lin Yang is all 2, and my Kachao is all 4. That is just so bad. Like if I lose to Verena, I would be like, oh great, I win. I would take that as a W because some of my team still use Verena. You know what I mean? But losing to the fucking Lin Yang, fucking Kachao, bro.
The worst of them being a unit like Ling Yang, who doesn't even have the cool factor going for him. He's just bad, and there's no other way around it. Look how he fights. He's got to be trolling with these dumbass toothpicks he's walking on. I don't see anyone talking about this guy, and I don't blame them because they're...
Yeah, I think you know, during 1.0, nobody's glazing about him at all. Even though bro is like, if you open your account and roll your account and you got him, you got the reroll, legit. But if you got Kachao, everybody be like, oh, that's a win because Kachao is good during that time.
Isn't much to talk about. He does no damage, and if you think some of these other units are clunky, then don't even touch Ling Yang with the 10-foot pole because he's probably the clunkiest in the game. At this point, I think Kuro just wants him to be like that, so there's still the fear of losing the 50-50 to this completely useless pool. So I respect the joke. Ling Yang must be an industry plant, but there are some 4 stars that deserve buffs too. Adding more 4 stars to the game is not gonna help you because you will just bloat the character pool with more mid units that you won't even bat an eye at whenever you're trying to go for that 5-star. Characters like Mortefi and Sanwa are still great for free-to-plays.
So I would say that's like 50-50 true. One side will be like, if you have less 4-star, there's gonna be a higher chance that you're gonna get this two guy right here, Mortefi, and maybe under my webcam right there, there's Sangho. Like 2 of them, I would say like the best 4-star option. And if you add more 4 stars, this chance gonna be like lower unless you're gonna pull on them on whenever they rerun. I take Genshin as an example. Genshin right now, I would say the best 4-star would be like Bennett. Okay, right? Bennett is literally the best one. But if you see there's a bunch of 4 stars, that mean Bennett gonna rerun lesser compared to when bro is like in 1.x when he keep rerun every two patch or 2 banner or 3 banner. Right now it maybe like took a year because the dev know that Bennett is strong. I'm pretty sure they know Bennett is strong. That's why they keep gatekeeping the 4-star. I still use Bennett still nowadays. And also increasing the 4-star, I would say okay, because we want more option and more buff and like a substitute to the 5-star, right? But make that 4-star is good enough for your team. I would accept the 4-star like very niche for a certain type of team. I would accept that because like, so you can use on this team. Like for example, I create a sub DBS that like a 4-star sub DBS for Augusta that really niche only made for her. I still gonna use that, and we know Iyuno is gonna be better, but at least have like some 4-star that is like good for the team. You know what I mean?
But it's sad to see characters like Yuan,
but not this mid-ass character,
who basically be unusable outside of Gen C. So you can have that use case for him in the tower, but that's about it. Characters like Lumi and Yohu, on the other hand, are some of our most recent 4-stars, which is crazy to say because of how long ago they were released, but they pretty much serve no purpose. Nobody is seriously running hyper carry Lumi unless you're just him. I don't know what the purpose is of going through the effort to do this though. One of my favorite 4-star designs in the game has to be Tao Chi. I love the chill vibe and the huge swords. swords. She's got a nice collection here. You gotta love the different aesthetics you can pull off. On top of the buffs for the present 4
Yeah, I would say on the 4-star, like it's so bad because like in other gacha game, I build 4-star. Like legit, I build 4-star. But in Wuthering Wave, the only 4-star that I build is Morphe because the rest is all trash. And I don't even bother like reading their kits or reading what their skill does. That's just like how bad the 4-star in Wuthering Wave are.
stars. If we're gonna even think about adding more of these characters, we need substitutes for limited 5 stars that can trigger reactions like Spectro Frazzle. A worse Phoebe would be fine. And a trigger for arrow erosion. I pray that the next 5-star has some sort of
Like putting a Spectral Frazzle like a 4-star is like really niche because it's only made for spectral type like Zani or Phoebe. That is literally why I just said when if they want to create 4-star, make it very niche like for a character so they can use Phoebe on another team like and have Zani use other than Phoebe, you know what I mean?
use outside of
Because the only one who can apply Spectral Frazzle right now 4-star by the way, like free to play, is Spectral Robot. I mean, yeah, Spectral Robot. That's the only one. And the 5-star we got Phoebe and Kachona. Yeah, Kachona also gives Spectral Frazzle.
being a useless
And no
damage
4-star at all.
bot that doesn't
It's
do
only
any
Spectral
sort
Robot.
of significant thing outside of that. I think the fact that you can make any character work in Wuthering Waves given the right build and the knowledge of the game mechanics is a great thing, but it's undeniable that some units have fallen off and potentially need complete reworks. So I hope that Kuro shows us eventually that they are willing to buff characters because it would make the quality of this game a lot better, given that people would be able to enjoy their favorite units and feel like their resources haven't been wasted by letting characters just sit on their account for months and trying to scramble to build newer characters. The animations are progressively getting better, as well as the story behind these units. So at
True,
least the incentive to
animation like
pull
really
the next
getting
best
better.
thing
Do you
is
see
still
that
here,
Gasta? Oh,
but I
that's
know we
crazy.
all have that attachment to 1 or 2 characters that will inevitably fall off. Also, let me know if you're okay with the current power balance in wuwa and see no need for buffs. Now it's time for your gacha jargon word of the day. And you know what? We'll just make this one a gacha game today. Arknights. And yes, that's right. Today's video is
Anyways, to keep it short and a summary, I would say yes, buff the 5-star like Kacharo or Jinshi or Jian or who's that? Jinlin. I think Jinlin is the need the most buff of them all because she deals 0 damage. Like legit. I would say like buffing the characters, buffing the older character is a good thing for Wuthering Wave, right? Because if you buff them, they're gonna go like middle tier, like the same amount of the limited character. So they would and other people would like, oh, I love Yinlin. Then like they would reconsider buying Yinlin instead of be like, oh, bro, Yinlin, I love Yinlin, but oh, what is this dog shit? I'm not gonna buy that. So the sales gonna go down when Yinlin rerun. That's why you see Yinlins never get rerun. Well, we don't count about the anniversary. I'm pretty sure like yeah, the anniversary, we don't care about that. But other than the anniversary, I'm pretty sure no 1.x got her rerun. Really? I'm pretty sure no 1.x rerun yet. Like legit. I already say 2.x. That's why it's just so bad. And also, on the buff, I would say buff the echoes. Like maybe give. You see Jian, right? Jian, he got his nightmare echoes, which is the monkey that apply like the stone, then like more buff and everything, like legit. So maybe like nightmare echoes also work and buff the set, like legit buff the set, making it more like comparable, like the 1.x set, make it more like also powerful as the 2.x because right now the 2.x echo set is just like so much better. Anyways, that's all for today's videos. What did you guys think about the gacha DG2 takes? And yeah, I would agree with him. And yeah, do you have any things to disagree or agree? Drop your comment down below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.